welcome to episode 403 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play or otherwise enjoy Magic the Gathering.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Meghan.
And on today's show, like many shows in the past, we are talking about bands.
That's right. We're diving past just the simple announcement that there is a ban. If you're looking for straight up announcements, check out our news podcast, The Upkeep, which is always 10 minutes or less every Monday with all the Magic news you need.
Yeah, get caught up.
Yeah, but today we're diving into what kind of standard decks are we maybe going to see now?
Yeah, Omnath is gone, as well as Lucky Clover, as well as Escape to the Wilds, which opens the door in Standard for pretty much anything, at least right now.
I'm so thankful because I feel like after this past weekend, seeing Lucky Clover triggers go on the stack is like...
I mean, it has a response.
It's like traumatizing.
It has a response. As somebody who plays creatures...
I'm just like, oh no.
I have a very, I can feel it creeping up my arms into my elbows right now, seeing that stomp on the stack, copied 3 times by Lucky Clover, and been like, I did so much work to put my creatures on the battlefield.
So much work.
But no, now Lucky Clover is gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Banned and Standard. We're also going to dip our toe into Historic a little bit because there were some bans in Historic as well, some suspensions and some unsuspensions.
Yep.
So what does that mean for decks there? Meghan's got a new love in her life.
Absolutely, I do.
It's called Neostorm.
Oh, Neostorm. More about that later, though. Plus, we'll have a quick story time. Catch up on what's happening in episode 2 of the Magic Story on Zendikar.
Yeah, so if you time this correctly with when you're going to sleep, Meghan can read you a bedtime story.
That's right.
Or a recap of bedtime story for you.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what everyone wants, is a bedtime recap.
Well, look, sometimes we don't have time for all of The Hobbit.
Yeah. Well, The Hobbit is pretty short as compared to the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, accurate.
Anyways,
all that's coming up. But first things first, thank you a million times over to all of our supporters and members of our Patreon family at patreon.com/GLHF
That's right. Thank you so much. If you are a patron at any level, it really does mean the world to us. Thank you so much for being a supporter of the show. If you're not one already, consider it as we head into fall. The seasons change, and what better way to change with the seasons than throwing some change our way?
You know what I say?
Made it work.
Spooky season is the time
to give.
You know?
We're trick-or-treating at your house saying, won't you give us as little as $1 a month?
Yeah, just $1 a month gets you a membership as part of our family and gets you access to our cool Discord where we have like all sorts of different channels, including an Among Us channel.
That's right.
For people to play.
Man,
if you're an Among Us
fan.
Is
so good.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You get all that and then a lot more based on whatever tier you subscribe at. So please consider it. Just takes like literally 1 minute to sign up. Patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Are you bored at work? Go do it now.
Thank you as well to Card Kingdom, one of the sponsors of this show, cardkingdom.com/GLHF, a wonderful place to get all of your Zendikar needs, or coming up in November, your Commander Legends needs.
And remember, Commander's Legends is draftable, everybody.
Yes. Get your boosters. Get your other boosters. Get your commanders to battle against each other.
I know. It sounds so fun.
It really does. We always love the packaged Commander product.
Yeah.
Great time. So check it out.
Check it out. And if you want to play some games virtually, we did it during the Loading Ready Runs pre-release. It was super easy. You can use Spell Table, play a pre-release with your friends, play some Zendikar booster back battle with your friends if you like to play a Pygow or something like that. Get all your product from Card Kingdom. They're super great. Okay, let's talk about new decks in Standard and Historic.
Yes. So let's kick it off with Standard because that is the format that's going to be the most shaken to its core.
Yeah, like I said, Omnath is banned, Lucky Clover is banned, Escape to the Wilds is banned, which is basically a big stink you to the deck Omnath Adventures because...
Never heard that phrase
heck
before.
You. Yeah, that deck is completely and utterly dead.
Yeah,
like they smothered it with a pillow and then they stabbed it through the heart.
Yeah, they really did. They really did. My favorite is the Escape to the Wilds band.
Absolutely.
That's just sort of like the one that's like kick you in the butt.
Because seriously, if you take out Omnath and you take out Lucky Clover,
like is Escape to the Wilds playable?
I don't know.
We don't know, but apparently they're like, we're not risking it. You get it.
Yeah. Seriously, they're so not risking it.
Yeah, they're like, you get in the hole too.
Get out of
here. The
here.
hole is the grave.
We don't want you. I mean, it is dark. They completely kill the deck.
Yeah.
And they also killed anything you could have built with Lucky Clover that wasn't this deck.
I think that they were pretty much like, if we don't kill Clover, it's just going to be adventures.
Yeah, you're right, because they would just still play
adventures for days.
Bone Crusher Giant is just too good.
Yeah, copying Stomp, copying the Fertile Footsteps, which is the adventure half of Beanstalk Giant. It's just too good. And you have Edgewall Innkeeper, which was the most played card in the top 8 of the grand finals.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, you got to play all 4.
Exactly. So
wow.
Anyways,
that's wild.
Exactly, just too much good stuff.
So we were referring just then to the 2020 season grand finals, which happened this past weekend.
Yeah.
And the top 8 of that.
5 copies of Omnath Adventures.
Yeah.
2 copies of Gruul Adventures.
Yep.
1 Dimir Rogues, keeping it solid, keeping it steady.
And the winner, of course, was an Omnath Adventures deck. It was a huge percentage of the field, both in standard and historic, where Omnath has been suspended, by the way.
Yes.
It's in timeout in historic.
Yeah. Hopefully to stay there forever.
Oh, yeah. I think it'll stay there forever. I don't see any way we let that card out of jail. There's just too many ways to cheat mana.
There's some cards you don't let out.
Yeah, no.
Omnath is one of them.
He's in there with a Hannibal Lecter mask on, strapped up.
If someone wants to Photoshop a Hannibal Lecter mask onto Omnath and send it to us.
Other players screaming Calaris. Yeah, the players are screaming.
Okay, speaking of Among Us, which we were mentioning a minute ago, there's like little Halloween ones that you can wear, like little Halloween hats and masks.
It's my favorite part of the game.
And this weekend I was playing with someone who put on, there's like a Jason mask.
That's creepy.
And it's really,
if they're not the imposter, I don't like it.
She wasn't the imposter, but the whole time we were just like,
no, don't come close to me.
No, you're like, no, that person is suspicious.
Did you know that there is a Jason statue submerged with underneath Lake Crystal, Minnesota?
Why?
Spooky.
Just because they want it to be spooky?
Because that's the location, or at least that's what the location was named in the first Friday the 13th movie. It was like Lake Crystal. Yeah.
So they were
somebody wanted to be a real creep.
Instead of putting a statue at the lake, we'll put it in the lake.
I don't know how it got in the lake. I don't know why it's in the lake, but it's extra creepy that it's under the water in the lake.
That is very creepy.
I mean, that's where he ended up or whatever.
How spooky is that movie?
0%. The first one? 0% spooky.
Really?
It is hilarious. Very funny. Yeah. It was made in the early 70s.
Okay.
And I don't want to give too much away, but it is you're never scared for even an instant because it's just so campy and stupid.
Okay.
It's a delight. I love it. At one point, this is my favorite quote. The sheriff comes in to check on the kids who are at the camp. And he's like, what are you kids all doing up here? Grass, hash, the weed, dig it? And that was the line he delivered with 100% seriousness. That is the mood of the first Friday the 13th movie.
All right.
And the soundtrack, of course, is great. Well, as they all are. But
I'll put it on my to-watch list.
Yeah, it's not scary at all.
I'm very easily spooked.
It's very silly. Especially the ending, which you'll understand.
Great.
When it happens to you. Great. But what were we talking about? Oh, yeah.
We're talking about standard decks that can now rise from the dead where Omnath had put them. So, Maria.
Yeah.
What are some decks that you are looking forward to?
Well, I think for me, number one is I really hope that we get some kind of life gain drain deck in the black-white color pair.
Yes.
I had been experimenting with this a little bit low on the ladder. It wasn't quite super good, but maybe there's a version of it that exists that can be good. It could maybe even be an enchantments deck. I'm not sure. But I want to play a deck in black and white and either have it be dealing with enchantments or dealing with life gain and drain using a card like Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose, which you can activate for 3 black to give all of your creatures lifelink until end of turn. Then however much life you gain, your opponent loses, which is a really quick way to end the game and super fun. And reminiscent of Vampires, which is my most recent favorite standard deck. Yeah. With Sorin. So
maybe some clerics.
Maybe some cleric action. Yes, absolutely. That could be it. I mean, clerics are so fun in limited to draft them.
They're very fun to draft in limited.
Number one favorite deck. Yeah. In limited.
Ooh, man. The other day, someone had that relic vial. Yeah. And the little 2/3 that makes a cat when you gain life.
Oh, it's so good.
Infinite card draw.
Yes. I had that the other day as well.
Woo.
And it's just It's just dumb.
It is dumb.
So like, can we do that in standard? I don't think we can likely do it and have it be one of the best decks, but maybe it can at least be like a tier 2 or something.
That would be great.
I would definitely be in for that. So that's my personal call. Different question is like, which ones do I think will actually be good now that Omnath is DED?
Yeah.
But do you want to talk about these replies first and then talk about reality?
Let's do it. Replies and then reality.
Replies and then reality.
So we asked over on the Twitter at GLHF Magic, if you want to tweet at us, what decks are you looking forward to brewing up playing now that the Omnath Menace is dead?
Okay.
So the first reply up here is Forsaken Engine Lithoform with
Lithoform
a
Engine.
splash of swamp shenanigans.
That's a spicy card. Lithoform Engine. That's that weird artifact that like lets you copy spells and activated abilities and
Someone
stuff.
played that against me in
It makes
Limited the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Lithoform Engine, 4 mana, a legendary artifact, 2 and tap, copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. 3 and tap, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. 4 and tap, copy target permanent spell you control. The copy becomes a token.
That seems super fun.
That is pretty cool.
I like that card.
Yeah.
Cards like that in standard are either completely busted or terrible generally, but I am saying terrible in quotes. Like it's a super fun deck, probably maybe mildly competitive. But
and the other one they were talking about is Forsaken Monument.
Oh yeah.
5 mana for a legendary artifact. Colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. Whenever you tap a permanent for colorless, add an additional colorless. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life.
Okay, so we're playing a cool like affinity for artifacts deck in standard.
All right.
Okay,
I'm into it.
I would love to see that list.
Let's see it.
So if you build it, let us know.
Yeah,
we will
that
come
was from
because
Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan. I think that sounds super fun. And people, I had been having some fun with a cool little artifacts deck in previous standards. It wasn't like very quote unquote competitive, but it was super fun.
Yeah.
All right, good news.
Next up from Tony, we have would love to pull some Orzhov shenanigans with clerics.
All right, Tony.
Yeah. So what you were just talking about.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Jeremy says Constellation merged with Landfall.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Have your cake and eat it too.
So lots and lots and lots and lots of triggers.
Yeah. And by the way, both mechanics that never really got to see their time like happen, so far.
I mean, you could call Omnath a landfall deck.
Guess you could. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I've seen mono red for sure, and also the red green aggressive deck playing the little 01 Acolm Hellhound.
I love that little pup
with landfall, which I think is good.
Yeah, I've played that pup in some very successful limited decks.
Oh,
which you would not
Warriors?
think, but if you want to get
landfall?
Yeah, I went 7-2 with a red-black deck.
Oh, sick.
Like a red-black aggro deck.
Okay.
Very good.
Good pup.
Good pup. What a pup.
What a pup.
What a good pup.
Somebody says, who's next? Bloodletting demonic author.
Spooky.
What a spooky name for a spooky time. Something in Golgari would be nice.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? Look, I know that we still, we've just got over Nissa.
Yeah.
5 mana Nissa.
But
we have
Nissa.
green black Nissa.
We do have green black Nissa.
We have new Nissa that we have not seen anyone do anything with.
And the same goes for that. What is it? A crocodile? A weird swamp demon?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know which card I'm talking about?
I don't.
You dig in your grave. It's like Tarmogoyf equal to stuff in your graveyard, and then you can sacrifice stuff to go get other stuff.
No, literally no idea what you're talking about.
It definitely comes up in one of the deck lists that we're going to share, but that is also a Golgari card. So
Nissa of Shadowed Boughs. 2 black green for a 4 loyalty. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a loyalty counter on Nissa, which I just love that landfall ability.
It's really
that's cool.
Yeah.
+1, target land becomes a 3/3 elemental until end of turn. Thank you for only being end of turn.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, we've seen this ability before. Oh, never mind.
And -5, you may put a creature card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control onto the battlefield from your hand or graveyard with 2 +1/+1 counters on it.
Oh, make it bigger.
Yeah.
That's a cool card.
It is a cool card, right? And that hasn't done anything yet. And that has some graveyard shenanigans because you can be putting a creature from your graveyard. What about that what about newest Liliana?
I've been playing a little bit with newest Liliana in a black-white deck.
Which one is that, Lily?
What is her name? I don't know.
I don't know. Is it? Nope, that's not that one. Waker
of the Dead. Yeah.
This is the one from M21.
Yeah, I played her in a black-white kind of stuff deck, I'll call it that I saw Ash Lizzle, the streamer, playing, and she is playing around with it in Mythic, and this was a one of in that deck, which was kind of cool.
This one has 2 black for, again, 4 loyalty, +1, each player discards a card, each opponent who can't loses 3 life, -3, target creature gets minus X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. So like again, milling. She wants like graveyard stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, and -7, you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste.
I think there's definitely applications for new Liliana.
Yeah, exactly. That we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, agree.
Be pretty cool. Justin says, I'm feeling spiteful. Maybe mono black devotion?
Yes, and we're going to talk about a mono black devotion deck list. I lost to one. I'm up in Diamond 2 or something. Lost to a mono black devotion deck the other day. Mm-hmm. Just completely housed me. There's nothing I could do. So yeah, we can talk about that one.
Yeah. Slave to Phage says, Golgari Nissa.
Yep.
Which we were just talking about. Demir Slitherwisp.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
We have not really seen, but that's like a flash rogue kind
deck.
of.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Luris plus Null Priest of Oblivion.
All right. So this is getting stuff back from your graveyard. Recursion. Luris, we all know that card does that. Null Priest of Oblivion is a really cool card that does that as well. If you kick it for 6 mana, you get to get something from your graveyard back straight onto the battlefield.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I love that little card.
I'm into it. Let's see. Jorgen answers rogues, but is the real answer, but the hope and dream is equipment matters.
It is the hope and dream.
Maria,
you're so
you
right.
want an equipment deck.
Yes,
Bad.
I tweeted this out at the beginning of the set. I said, Nahiri, I want you to be good enough for an equipment matters deck. And someone from R&D is like, yeah, would we print that and not print good equipment?
Yeah.
And like,
the answer is,
you did, but it wasn't good enough.
It's not good enough. Maybe it will be now.
Maul of the Skyclaves is quite a card.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that card.
And there's the 3-mana card that we previewed, which can you can pay white and tap a creature that's equipped to make it indestructible.
Yeah.
Which is like a very powerful
really
ability.
Good card. Really good card.
Absolutely.
Nathan says, I'm liking red-green landfall because Embercleave is still fun. Yeah.
We did see that. Ooh, the combo we saw this weekend, the combo of Brushfire Elemental and Embercleave. Because Brushfire Elemental, you can play a Fabled Passage, crack a Fabled Passage. You have a 2-mana 5/5 haster.
Sick.
Like, and what do you Embercleave that and it hits for 12?
Taking more than half of your life total?
Dang.
I love it.
Kids.
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. This
is my favorite response. The funeral of G times G tweets. Wow, I've been out of Magic for a while. It looks like you could still do some sweet Temur or Simic stuff with Oko, Uro, and Growth Spiral. Well, do we have something to tell you, my friend? Yeah. Awkward. But those are all great ideas. If you've got a super sweet deck that you want us to know about, please tweet at us at GLHF Magic because there is some cool stuff out there still to be found. Oh, No Justice, No Peace says, I'm a fan of Celestia +1/+1 counter synergies. Ooh. I also played against that deck the other day on the ladder. It was really cool. It seemed fine. And I turned around. This is so funny. It was during when we were... during casting the show, when I was off around, I was playing some arena, and I would say I turned around and told Cedric, but I didn't turn around anywhere. He was just on the computer in front of me doing his thing. And I said, Cedric, are we just supposed to play all creatures now because nobody's playing any like wraths?
Yeah.
I mean, Storm's Wrath is a card for sure, but generally,
Shatter the Sky.
I mean, you aren't getting wrathed very much.
Yeah, because control is not been viable.
But yeah, I did play against a Celestia deck. I think I ended up beating it, but it was close. Maybe I didn't even. Maybe I lost. I can't remember. But I was like, oh.
Yeah, like I like Basri's Lieutenant is a card that we talked about.
Absolutely. That was in the deck. 100%.
Gives counters to things. And then like when things with counters die, they just become 2/2 knights.
Isn't that, what can you do?
Exactly.
I wipe your board and you're like, okay, well, I've got a bunch of knights now. So like, I don't care.
So
whatever.
So what now? Yeah, those are all some great ideas. I'm into it.
Fabulous tweets. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
We want to hear more if you've got more ideas. One of these tweets did reference Demir rogues, like, oh, that's the real answer.
Yeah.
And you know who would agree with you is Croaky's popular streamer. He has been playing Blue Blackmill in Standard, which is kind of a rogues deck, but kind of really not. And it's running cards like Ruin Crab, which is a little
obviously
O3.
4 copies of Ruin Crab.
You got to have Ruin Crab in there. And then basic rogues package, Thieves Guild Enforcer, Merfolk Wind Robber, Soaring Thought Thief.
Yeah.
These kinds of cards to mill yourself and the opponent.
One of the things I like the most is this. It runs 3 copies of Agadeem's Awakening.
Absolutely.
Which is a mythic. And it's one of the
Modal double face cards.
Modal double face, thank you. The sorcery side of it says, return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different converted mana cost X or less.
It's my favorite MDFC for sure. It's so cool because on the flip side, it's a land, but you can pay 3 life to have it come in untapped, which I think is really, really, really important. And then later in the game, you just get all of your creatures that have been killed back and you're like, LOL.
Ooh, obviously, Call of the Death Dweller.
Oh, yeah.
Great card.
Get in the deck. Get your creatures back.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm into this. I'm into these copies of Drown in the Loch.
Oh, yeah. Makes it so good.
I'm obviously way into these copies of Into the Story.
Yeah, 4 copies of Into the Story, which lets you draw 4 cards for 4 mana. If there's like 8 cards in your opponent's graveyard?
7, because this is from Eldraine. I think Eldraine and the M set. No, the M set is 8. Let's see. The M set is 8. M21, 8 cards.
Okay.
But stuff from Eldraine was 7 cards.
7 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very similar to the list Seth Manfield brought to the tournament this past weekend and other rogues.
Which is a lot more focused on the control aspect.
Yes.
Like, eventually you just control the board, and however you kill them, you kill them.
Like, whatever. Sometimes you mill them up, but very, very rarely.
Yeah.
This one more focused on that thanks to Ruin Crab. I think it's super cool.
Yeah.
I'm here for this deck.
Same. Although, so part of the reason why Blue-Black was so popular is because it was good against Omnath strategies.
Yes.
So I don't know if we're going to see this deck be as successful depending on how the metagame shifts.
But think about this. It was good versus 4-color Omnath, but it was not good against 4-color Clover.
Yes.
So now that Clover and that deck is gone,
maybe it will be the best.
Maybe it will be the best?
Question mark?
I don't know.
Wow. People have been waiting for a long time for Mill to be the best deck in Standard.
That's true. Ages and ages.
Yep. Mono green aggro.
Yeah, so this deck
is a big one.
I wanted to pull up because this one beats the rogues deck.
Yeah.
So
I am sure.
If you're playing some rock, paper, scissors and running up against a lot of rogues, Cedric mentioned he was like number 70 something on the ladder with this the other day.
I believe that.
Loves this deck.
4 copies of Swarm Shambler, which is the little green little 1 mana 1/1.
Shambling on in.
4 copies of Stonecoil Serpent, 4 copies of Primal Might.
Jeez.
Let's see, we've got Yorvo, Lord of Garenbrig in here. Kazandu Mammoth. This is a new big popular addition to any deck with green in it, like a green creatures deck, I mean.
Yes.
That's the 3/3 Landfall Mammoth that can be a land on the other side.
5/5 when you play a land.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Ooh, it has this says Garruk Unleashed.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet, but that's cool. It's a single copy.
Single copy and copy of Vivian Monsters Advocate.
And then, of course, you're playing the Great Henge to turbo yourself out, draw you more creatures once you've depleted your supply.
Because the Great Henge is like such a powerful card.
It's so good.
Really, really excellent card.
If they land Great Henge, you're going to have a hard time
losing the
winning that game.
Yeah. I've lost so many games to Great Henge by itself. So yeah, if you're looking to go just aggro with some creatures.
Aggro stomp, mono green. Mm-hmm. Very straightforward deck. Super fun to play, especially when you get the Great Henge out there. Oh, I think it is well positioned moving forward.
Absolutely. This Gruul Adventures deck is from the weekend.
Yep.
Like we mentioned in the upkeep. Emma Handy, Autumn Burchett, Luis Salvato, and Pyotr Glogowski came with this deck.
Yes.
And it is, it is also a fun deck.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, if you're looking to do some smashy stuff and you're like, I don't get to play Embercleave in that mono green one. I think I want to play Embercleave. This is the deck for you.
This is the deck for you. And someone was talking about Red Green Landfall. Yep. This is the one that we were talking about that plays 4 copies of Brushfire Elemental.
Yep.
It plays 4 copies of Embercleave, obviously. Yeah. 4 copies of Primal Might.
Yeah, we saw some cool Primal Might victories.
Yes,
this past weekend, which was really cool.
So yeah, again, if you want to get aggro, and especially if you want to believe in the cleave, you miss the cleave, get on in here with this deck.
Yeah, and if like Autumn and Emma are some of your magic heroes, you can play the same deck as them and be like, I'm cool, check it out. One deck that was brought to the tournament by a couple of people, one of them being Montserrat Arienza, who I'm a big fan of, was a red-black kind of mid-range escape deck with Kroxa, which we talked about on the show earlier. And the sad part about this deck is that it didn't fare too well in the field against these Omnath builds, but it completely houses rogues, which might have been the bet they were taking.
Yeah, they thought more people would show up with rogues.
Yeah, more people would play blue-black, but unfortunately they didn't. It was only but I still think this deck is like really, really mean, and I think it could still win.
Yeah, you could put, and if rogues is on the upswing.
Rogues
get them good.
Has a heck of a time beating this deck.
I am sure. I like 3 copies of Spikefield Hazard.
Like seriously,
just to be mean.
Hey, get ready your Thieves Guild Enforcer. I don't even care. Boop. You're gone. Exile it, by the way.
Good day.
So you can't Agadeem's Awakening it. Nice try. But yeah, this deck makes you discard your hand a lot thanks to Kroxa. Gets cards back thanks to Ox of
Agonis.
Ox of
you
Agonis.
Draw a bunch of cards with Ox of Agonis.
Yes.
I love this card.
It's great.
I love Ox of Agonis.
So you try and mill it through Mire Triton yourself into your own graveyard, and rogues are helping you do this, by the way. You're like, thank you. And then in goes your Ox, and you can get it back for just 2 red mana, plus exiling a million cards, but whatever, they're already in your yard.
Have them.
And then you're like, pitch my hand to help me like mill some more stuff or escape some more stuff later, draw 5 new cards, like whatever.
Great. I'm into this.
And it kills everything.
Usually not a red-black person, you know.
This deck is
not
so
me,
mean.
But
I did have fun playing it though, because it's just so rude.
So if you want to be rude,
it's the #1 rudest deck on our list. Oh yeah, this Jund deck I pulled up.
Yeah.
Fiend Artisan.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Did not not in a million years would I have guessed Fiend Artisan from what you were saying to me.
Weird crocodile beast thing, digs in the graveyard, lets you sack other things. I don't know why you didn't get it. What kind of animal is Fiend Artisan?
I think it's a nightmare.
Well, technically, but I mean, like, what is it based on?
It's a nightmare, Maria.
It has 10 eyeballs.
It does have 10 eyeballs. I guess it is vaguely crocodile-esque.
So this is like taking the elements of some of the big beefy green decks, plus the red-black sacrifice, plus, without cat oven, plus red-black escape, and like smooshing them all together.
Making a sandwich.
Making a Jundy sandwich. And you get to play Corvald in this build.
Fey Cursed King.
So you've got Corvald.
Ooh, one of the things that I like, this has 4 copies of Song Mad Treachery, which can be a land or a Steal Your Thing spell. Yeah,
Steal Your Thing. You're running Claim the Firstborn, the same as you would in a Jund Sacrifice list. The 2 copies in this list of a Crow and War, I think, are really fun, which force your opponents to attack you or whatever.
Yeah. You get control of something, and then they have to attack, and then other things happen.
Great. I'm in.
Same.
So yeah, a cool like grindy little Jund deck that does Jundy sorts of things if you're a fan of that kind of archetype.
Ooh, Doom Foretold is still around, which I am into.
This card has been around in the past, and I played against this a couple of times the other day, actually.
3 Dance of the Manse.
Wow.
This is the white-blue X sorcery, where return up to X target artifact or non-aura enchantment cards with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If X is 6 or more, those permanents are 4/4 creatures in addition to their other types.
Great.
Trying to put a bunch of those into the graveyard. You've got Omen of the Sea, Birth of Meletus, Omen of the Sun, Treacherous Blessing, and of course 4 Doom Foretold.
So Doom Foretold will make your opponents sacrifice their creatures or other permanents that aren't lands.
And you're just sacrificing your dumb enchantments you've got a million of.
I already Birth of Meletus, whatever.
Exactly. I'll put that in the yard.
Yeah. This deck is very cool.
Yeah.
And really kind of plays on a different axis than a lot of decks in Standard. So if you want something a little different.
I would love to see this deck be good again.
And it's running 2 Yorion, which is kind of cool.
Well, you want to flicker all those things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You get so many great effects.
That deck might end up being good.
I would be very happy if that deck was good.
A few days ago, I saw, who did I see? Wyatt Darby playing mono white on stream. And I was like, oh, mono white, is that any good? And he was having a lot of success with it. So I just want to point it out. You get to play Seasoned Hollowblade, which is like my number one creature.
Yeah, this is the 3/1 that you can discard a card to tap and give it indestructible until end of turn.
Great. Sign me up.
It has 4 Luminarch Aspirant,
Love
which is a very a strong potential card for aggro decks going forward. This is the 1 and a white for a 1/1 at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control.
Great.
Just like very powerful effect.
Yeah, super powerful stuff. Super low to the ground. Playing 4 copies of Maul of the Skyclaves to give your little creatures +2/+2 and flying for strike. You get to play Kabira Takedown, which is a really cool card.
McKindy Stampede.
Some of those modal double face cards. And Miria's Call.
Great.
Don't think you're ever casting the other side of that, but you never know.
Like it's in the deck because you might.
You might.
Like you could.
You're super flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very, very straightforward, fun little aggressive white deck that I saw doing pretty well the other day. Now, the other day, Omnath was still legal, so who knows? But just want to point it out.
Oh, the other day, Omnath was still legal.
It was.
Yeah,
that
you're
was
right.
our life.
We have Is It Tempo?
Yes.
Wow, this is a spicy little deck.
Yeah.
4 Sprite Dragon.
I love Sprite Dragon.
Same. Who doesn't? 4 Stormwing Entity.
You can cheat Stormwing Entity into play really early by playing cards like Opt or Shock or Spikefield Hazard. You can get that 3/3 flyer out onto the battlefield super early. And while you're playing all these instants and sorceries, meanwhile, your Sprite Dragon is like, I'm getting bigger.
I'm a little dragon who's big now.
I'm a big dragon now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a fun little tempo deck.
Lots of classic 1 mana instants and sorceries. You've got Crash Through, Opt, Shock, now Spikefield Hazard.
Classic.
Royal Eruption, obviously. Mystical Dispute. Great.
Yeah. So attack your opponent, play spells, kill their things, get in for damage while they're on the back foot. Is it tempo?
Ooh, I like this Heartfire Immolator, 1 in a red for a 2/2 prowess. You can also pay red to sack it, and it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that card running around since it was printed.
That's spicy.
Welcome. Yeah. Welcome to Standard potentially. And finally now we get to Mono Black Devotion.
Oh yeah, this is the deck you were into.
Yeah, so this is really cool.
Tell us about it.
There's a bunch of different builds you can do with this. Like you can run a Massacre Worm like this list that I have pulled up does, because why wouldn't you in Mono Black Devotion? Hello. You're, of course, running 4 copies of Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
Yep.
To drain your opponent based on your devotion. All of your cards are super devotion heavy, like Ayara, First of Loch Twain, which is one of our preview cards.
4 Deathless Night.
Wow.
Spicy.
Haven't thought about this card in 1,000 years.
Yeah, absolutely not. Not since you considered it as a a late draft pick.
You're like, I guess maybe I'll play it.
It's 4 hybrid mana, so it has 4 black mana symbols.
Sick.
For a 4/2 haste.
I need to go try this deck immediately.
Yeah, you want to play this?
I do. It looks so fun.
Yeah.
So as many black pips as you can have on the battlefield, the better for your Grey Merchant draws. Kill them out of nowhere. You get to play Agadeem's Awakening too. You get to play Agra Mauling, which is a modal double face land. Ooh, of course, Heraldic Banner. There's 1 copy in this list. I miss you, Heraldic Banner.
Great.
This deck went 5-0 in a standard league on Magic Online. So we're not just blowing smoke. These decks have all performed over the past couple of days. So they are quote unquote the real deal. Although nobody can be sure what the real deal is yet.
No. We have no idea yet what the deal looks like. So closely examine any deal. It might be a fake deal and not a real deal.
Before we go, Megan, let's talk about Historic very briefly because we talked about the start of the show. You have a new love in your life. Let's hear about it.
So Ken Yukihiro brought this combo deck. Neostorm is what they're calling it because it uses Neoform to combo off. It uses Seagate Stormcaller, which is 1 in a blue for a 2/1, but when it ETBs, you can copy the next instant or sorcery spell that you cast this turn.
Great.
Maybe with CMC 2 or less. I don't remember.
I think so.
I think so, yeah. But Neoform is 2 mana. It has Dual Caster Mage, which also copies an instant or sorcery.
Oh boy.
So what you do is you can combo off as early as turn 4 because you can
Some decks you can do in turn 3.
That's true. The version he was playing has no mana accelerants,
right.
so it's only by turn 4.
Yep.
And most of the time I was comboing off on like 5-ish even.
Wow.
But you're just like, you have lots of ways to like kind of stall things out with like, you're playing 4 copies of Wall of Blossoms and O4.
Oh, great.
Which is great.
Love it.
You're playing like some Braids, you're playing like some Uros to ramp and get some land, like gain some life and stuff like that.
Great.
It is so much fun.
So you've got your Seagate Stormcaller out.
Yes. So what you do is, here's one way you can combo off. You're at 4 mana, you play Seagate Stormcaller, and then you play Neoform, sacrificing it.
Yep.
And a copy goes on the stack. You don't have to sacrifice anything for the copies of it.
Sure.
Because sacrificing is part of paying the cost of Neoform.
Oh, okay.
Not a part of the resolution.
Sure.
So you don't have to, it just copies. You just go and get things.
Great.
So your first copy, you go and you get a Dual Caster Mage, and then you copy it, and then you get a Dual Caster Mage, and then you copy and you still have the base one on the stack. That's how you're doing all of this. So like your original Neoform, not even resolved yet. You go and you get another Dual Caster Mage and you copy it. You go and get another Dual Caster Mage and you copy it. Then you start getting your Glass Pool Mimics or whatever they're called.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You get your Glass Pool Mimic and you copy it, and Glass Pool and copy it, and Glass Pool and copy it, and Glass Pool and copy it.
Okay, so you've got a bunch of copies of creatures, Megan.
Yes.
What are you going to do?
And now the last 2 things that you get are you get a Tuk Tuk Rubble Fort. I know.
I love that Tuk Tuk Rubble Fort.
You need the Tuk Tuk Rubble Fort. And if you think they might have removal, get another Tuk Tuk Rubble Fort, because you have 2. Or if they are like tapped out or they don't have removal, you can get a Combat Celebrant, really make sure they're dead, because you can insert it for another combat, like another attack step.
That's awesome.
And it's just so much fun.
I witnessed Megan playing this, everybody. She literally said the words, and I quote, "I'm having so much fun," unironically.
I really was. So if you, like me, are uninterested in interacting with your opponents, Neostorm. Just such a fun deck. And I'm really excited. Like you said, there's been a bunch of variations on it so far, and we don't know which the best one is yet.
Right.
So I'm excited to find out.
It might be a deck with real staying power.
Exactly.
It's a 2-card
Should
combo.
it be one that's like playing Llanowar Elves? So maybe you can copy, like, maybe you can combo on turn 3? That would be bonkers.
That's a pretty good deck. Or is it just
stuff like what Ken is doing, where you're just having a lot of card draw and a little bit of stuff to like stall the board long enough?
Make sure that you have your combo in hand.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. Well, that'll be so interesting to see.
It has Pact of Negation, so that, because like you can just, if they try and like disrupt your combo, you just pay it. You don't have to worry about paying for it on your next upkeep, because you're ending the game right now.
Because your opponent is dead.
Yes.
That's cool.
Very dead.
Really spicy list that they brought to that tournament, and we'll see if it'll be the real deal in Historic.
I hope so.
Again, if you have any cool Historic or Standard lists that you're like, these ones I'm looking forward to playing, please send them our way at GLHF Magic on Twitter. We would love to see them.
Yes. All right, Maria, you ready for a little story time?
I've got my one-piece footy pajamas on, my teddy bear, and my cup of warm milk, and I'm ready for it.
I had footy pajamas on.
Wouldn't that
I wish
be
I
nice?
had footy pajamas. I should go find some.
You should find some.
I really should. Okay, I'm going to.
Okay.
Anyways. Okay, so Maria,
sure
last time we left
flap.
off, Nissa and Nahiri had like gone to find the key to the Lithoform core.
Yes.
The Lithoform core is like this very powerful artifact thing that Nahiri wants to use to stop the royal on Zendikar and bring back like the heyday of the core. They had all these like huge, enormous
and Nissa's like, if you do that, what the heck? Then you're killing all the elementals.
All the elementals will die.
Yep.
And Nissa's like, the elementals helped me through a tough time. I don't know. Okay. First issue. They're trying to write Nissa as like this sympathetic character in this. But like, I don't know. It seems kind of selfish that she's like, the elementals are Zendikar. But mostly they're like, she's like, they're so important to me. And it's like the royal disrupts literally everyone on the plane's life.
But would you kill the elementals to save the rest of the life? That's what Nahiri is saying, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I think that they want Nissa to be sympathetic, and I do not find Nissa to be a sympathetic character. I find Nissa to be annoying.
Well, you love Nahiri, though.
Sorry. Yes, I do love Nahiri. Nahiri's great. Anyways, okay, so in this one, she's like, we need to go get the Lithoform core, which is the actual powerful thing. They just have the key right now. And she's like, for this, I'm going to need an adventuring party since Nissa won't be my ally anymore.
So this is what we see in the trailer, I assume.
So she goes to Seagate, which is the big city that was razed by the Eldrazi, but it has been rebuilt.
Okay.
And she goes to like one of the houses where adventurers meet up and like people find adventures for adventures.
There's like a bulletin board.
Exactly, basically. So she goes to like the most renowned one and she knows the person. And she's like, I know the people that I'm looking for. And these, it turns out, are the 4 legendary creatures that we know that are the different types. There's the cleric, Oraf. You know the black-white cleric that I'm talking about? 2 black-white.
I don't know.
Skyclave Hierophant.
Oh, yeah. I think I had them in the draft once.
Yeah, okay. So he's in there. And then there's like Kazu, which is the little red, blue-red wizard.
Okay, yep.
There's Zareth-san, the trickster.
Oh,
who's
Zareth.
the rogue. And then there's Arkard, the red-white warrior.
Okay.
Akiri? Yes.
Akiri, yep.
Akiri. And so she meets them, and they're like, I don't know about this. Are you telling the truth? Is this thing even real? What's the whole deal here? So they like play a weird card game where there's like cards of like different.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. So they sit down and they play a game of Magic.
This is getting really meta.
I really wish that that's what happened. And Nahiri is like, turns all the cards to stone and is like, I win in the middle of it because she's frustrated. And also she knows like Zareth-san tries to steal the Lithoform key from her, but she notices it happen.
Oh, sneaky.
And so she's like, give it back. And they're like, okay, we'll be your adventuring party. But
what? Okay, you seem fine.
Yeah, they're like,
Let's
I don't
go.
know, you saw through us or whatever. Anyways, but Zareth like apparently has some misgivings because he's like, if she wants to rebuild Zendikar as it was that it kind of seems like maybe that was a place for like only core to be cool.
Yeah.
And everyone else was like not as good as the core in that world. And so,
okay.
So we're getting a hint of maybe, I'm talking so like emphatically, I smacked the microphone and it hurt. Anyways, you're getting a hint that like maybe I guess Nissa isn't the only person who is worried about things going back to the way they were. Still not sympathetic, whatever. Okay, so Nahiri and them head towards the
Seagate.
Other Skyclave.
Oh.
The Marasa Skyclave, which is where the Lithoform core is.
Okay.
And they're getting ready to go. And then there's like this giant 6-legged fanged forest beast almost attacks Zareth-san.
Wow.
And she stops it with the key and it like turns into like black dust essentially. But then Akiri notices before they leave that the black dust like twists up a tree and like corrupts the tree.
Lithoform blight.
Yes, into a lithoform blight. So that's where that part comes in. Anyways, jump to Jace. He was in the last one. Nissa went looking for his help.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I'm not sure. And Nissa was like, I'm mad. And she went away because it was just a minor miscommunication and she can't handle it. And Jace is like, now I feel bad. And also, I kind of want this core because I secretly know that Nicol Bolas isn't dead. So Jace shows up on Zendikar. He apparently tried to call someone else from the Gatewatch, but couldn't get anyone to.
Sometimes nobody's answering their phone. They're millennials.
Exactly. Apparently, none of them were answering their phones, and you're like, I wonder what the state of the Gatewatch is. Apparently, no one's answering the call. Anyways, so Jace shows up on Zendikar, and he looks around Seagate for forever trying to find Nahiri, or just someone who knows where Nahiri went. He eventually shows up at the same, like, very esteemed place to find adventurers where she was. And the woman who runs it is like, I can't tell you where Nahiri went. I'm so sorry. But then she secretly writes it on a piece of paper and gives it to him.
Oh.
Is that all that happened? Maybe he saw Nissa. I think he found Nissa. Did he? I don't remember.
Perhaps.
No.
And perhaps Jace found Nissa the end.
Did he? Yes, he did. Yes. He goes to
Just
Marasa.
kidding. Jace found Nissa.
And he's like, okay, let's do this, I guess.
So Nissa is like in on it now?
Nissa and Jace are kind of allied, trying to get the lithoform core before Nahiri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's it. I feel like maybe there's something that I'm missing, but
My favorite part is when
Probably
they played
not.
a game of Magic.
yeah, when they Scheherazaded themselves. It was like this weird card game where it was like a deck of cards, and then they just had like one word on them, like cunning or I forget the other ones.
What is this
And then they had to
game?
tell a story about a time when they exuded that quality on the card. And if their
don't wanna
story
play.
wasn't good enough, then another person could take it. But if their story was good enough, then they take it. It doesn't make sense. It's not a game.
Don't want to play that game.
It's not a game.
No wonder she turned the cards of stone.
Exactly.
This game
Like
sucks.
she was like, they were like playing this game, and she's like, whatever. And then he like she notices him steal the key from her, and the card she turns up is power, and she just turns all the cards to stone. And you're like, that's pretty cool, I guess. Nahiri is a cool character. Don't at me.
Let's call Judge Rob on this one.
Boop, 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 boop. Good job.
He's not picking up. He's part of the Gatewatch.
Oh gosh. Their Gatewatch are never answering our calls.
You know what? I bet it is like a Gatewatchy kind of thing happening. Something's happening.
I wonder.
I put some sleeves behind you if you want them.
Oh, yeah.
Nahiri and
Let's not talk about him.
okay, he's gone.
All right. Speaking of how cool Nahiri is, there's some 6 sleeves from Ultra Pro that have Nahiri on them.
Cool. I want to
So-
build a Nahiri deck and I want Nahiri sleeves.
She's so cool. So if you want to celebrate your very favorite and your only favorite character in Magic.
Somebody has an agenda in this room.
Magic, Nahiri, Ultra Pro. I'm running out of words to say. My mind is tired.
I've got this playmat here from Ultra Pro 2, which has 2 little baby dragons. If you remember the egg special secret lair.
Yeah.
These little fellows were in that, and it's on a playmat. It's so cute.
It's really cute.
They have the best playmats, full
Yes.
stop. If you want to give a present to your friend or for yourself, whatever, Ultra Pro has got the playmats that have the art that you want on them.
They really do.
So thank you to them for being a sponsor of our show and for sending us cool stuff that we always put in our giveaways.
Yes, because they're so good.
Because they're so good. Everybody loves them when they get them. Check them out.
So get some Nahiri sleeves to celebrate a badass character who doesn't take crap.
Well, everybody, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again, wherever you're at in the whole world, or if, all of our alien friends listening too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to everyone out in outer space whom this broadcast has reached.
It'll get there one day,
Yeah.
and they'll be very confused.
Come by and say hi.
We want to meet you. Don't explode our world. But if you want to come and hang out.
If you're nice and you're not going to do anything weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't want an alien?
Only if you're going to be upfront about it and you're going to come by in broad daylight. I know that I'm putting a lot of restrictions on this, but you're visiting our home in broad daylight and be like, hey, how are you? And then we can be like, great, let's get to know you. I'm just spooked about in the dark. Don't come by when it's dark. Don't beam me up without my approval. Or
I'm here for all alien visits.
Okay, Maria.
I'm that person in the movie that's like, welcome, alien friend. I know you're here to help us. And then their head gets immediately right cut off right there.
Fair enough.
That's
Fair
me.
enough.
But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening to our show about Magic the Gathering and not about alien content at
Not
all.
about aliens at all. Thank you again to everyone who is a patron of our show, alien or not, over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. If you're an alien or if you're not, you should really head on over there. Get to know what people are like on our Discord. Great place to learn about the best of humanity, truly.
That's so true. And alienity.
Yeah.
Because maybe one of you is an alien.
Maybe one of you is already an alien.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you as well to our sponsors, Card Kingdom and Ultra Pro. Great place for alien and human gear. I I bet these playmats would look great in space.
They sure would. Send one of these to the ISS.
And with that, we'll see you next week.
Bye, friends!